Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of this show. Today, I am very happy to have our most honorable ambassador from the Philippine ambassador to the United States, Ambassador Jose Cuisia.
Maraming salamat, Veronica. Magandang
Excited
hapon
do
po.
ako, kaya hindi ko masabi yung pangalan ninyo.
Okay. Tama naman sinabi mo.
Excited po akong interviewin kayo. And you're here in Chicago today
Yes.
for your final appearance as ambassador.
Yes, I'm doing my farewell rounds.
Yes, your farewell rounds. Are you going to all consulate generals?
Yes, I started in Guam, went to Honolulu, from Honolulu, LA. Last Sunday I was in New York, today in Chicago, and next week in San Francisco. And of course, my last day will be the embassy and the consulate in Washington, D.C.
You know what? As far as I remember, Ambassador, kayo lang ang gumawa nito eh. I've been here for many years in Chicago, and you're the only ambassador who's really conscious of saying goodbye to the Filipino Americans here in the U.S.
Alam mo bakit? Kasi
Kayo
yung
lang
mga
gumawa.
consul generals dito, mga kaibigan ko rin, hindi lang kasama namin sa pagtrabaho, mga personal friends ko rin. Na kaya ako nasisiyahan magkaroon itong oportunidad bumalik sa mga syudad na mayroon tayong mga consulates dyan, gaya ng Chicago, New York, San Francisco, LA, Honolulu at Guam.
You know what, Ambassador, I and together with the other members of the community really hate to see you go. You are a most loved ambassador. As far as I know, totoo po yan.
Maraming
Hindi ako
salamat.
nambobola.
Maraming salamat, Veronica.
But what can you say about, I know your tour of duty is almost over.
Yes.
Because of the new administration, and you have to go back to the Philippines. What can you say about your stay as ambassador here in the United States?
Well, it's been a very exciting, very gratifying, very fulfilling experience for me because, as you know, I am not a career diplomat unlike Consul General Calonghe. I was a political appointee. This is my first diplomatic assignment. I have always been in the business sector.
And you were central bank
I was
governor.
at one time central bank governor under President Corazon Aquino and head of the Philippine Social Security System. That was my only public service of 7.5 years. I did not expect that I would be invited to come back to government service until Secretary Del Rosario asked me if I would be willing to accept an assignment to Washington, D.C. So it's been very gratifying, as I said, very exciting. And at the same time, I feel that I have been able to contribute to the enhancement of U.S.-Philippines relations, strengthening the military and security alliance that we have with the United States, that we have been able to expand further the trade and investment relationship between the U.S. and the Philippines. And furthermore, we have been able to strengthen the people-to-people ties between the Filipino people and the American people through the cultural diplomacies that we have, the educational exchange programs that we have developed between American universities and Philippine universities, and the various social projects where we have, of course, been assisted by Americans, particularly during times of tragedy like the Typhoon Haiyan. We saw how positively the American people responded in order to assist our less fortunate countrymen in central Philippines. No? So I take pride in the fact that the embassy, together with the consulates general around the U.S., have played an important role in strengthening that relationship with the U.S. and the ties between the Filipino and American people.
That's why, Ambassador, hindi ako nabobola. You really have left good memories not only for the Filipinos here in the United States, but also with the Americans that
Yeah.
you've dealt with.
But thank you for that compliment. But tell me, let me also say that again, I owe it to people like Consul General Kalonghe, all the other consuls general, their officers and staff, and my own people in the embassy who have been very great support to me in accomplishing those objectives that I mentioned: no? Military and security alliance, the trade and investment relationship, and the people-to-people ties.
Okay, as ambassador, you have introduced a lot of projects. And which projects would you like to be continued when you're gone?
Well, we have already indicated that, as I mentioned earlier in my remarks, the PhilPro, or the Philippine American Young Leaders Program,
That's number one,
is
huh?
very important because this program will develop the future leaders of the Filipino American community in the United States. Right now, we have 40 outstanding young Philams, but we hope that that will expand further because they will continue this program if even after I have stepped down as ambassador. Uh, these young films also have a better understanding of the relationship between the Philippines and the United States. Many of them are outstanding professionals, and they can contribute to further strengthening the relationship between the U.S. and the Philippines. Now, the second would be the U.S. Philippine Society. I mentioned earlier, excuse me, that this is a binational board of American firms and Filipino firms that are working together to promote the interest of the Philippines, to elevate the profile of the Philippines in the United States. I also take pride in having been involved in the creation of this U.S. Philippine Society, which in fact will be going to see President Aquino in 2 weeks' time to thank him for his support, to present him a book, a commemorative book of his trips in the U.S. as well as the trips of President Obama to the Philippines. And then we will be seeing the President-elect, Mayor Rodrigo Duterte, in Davao, because these Americans who are part of the board are interested to know what are the programs that President-elect Duterte has in mind. No? So that's in sum what I feel is important to convey. And then the last institution I mentioned also was the Philippine Humanitarian Coalition, which is an umbrella organization of 27 film organizations in the Metro Washington, D.C. area, which includes Maryland and Virginia, because we have proven through this organization that if the Filipinos decide to work together, there's so much more we can accomplish. It's the synergy that you achieve because of working together. And that, I hope, will continue, because this Philippine Humanitarian Coalition will not help only the Philippines. They've also helped other countries that have suffered from natural disaster, like Nepal, the earthquake in Nepal. We had a fundraising for Nepal, and I led the 5-kilometer run so that we could raise funds for the Nepalese victims of the earthquake. So those are the three institutions that I feel should continue even after I stepped down as ambassador.
Okay, Ambassador, what beautiful memories do you have about your stay here in the United States?
Well, it consists of the friendships that I have developed with so many Filipino Americans from all over the U.S. Because as I told you, I've been to 42 states and I have two more to go,
You did not
Montana
complete it.
and Wyoming. But I have met so many outstanding Filipino Americans, so many very amiable Filipino Americans who I consider friends, and I will miss that. But I hope to be coming back also to the United States, and some of them, of course, will come to the Philippines. So we will maintain that friendship. No,
Any regrets?
no regrets.
No regrets. Okay.
Well, I
Um,
guess my only regret, if I can say that, is that I have not had enough time with my grandchildren.
how
The
many
two in
grandchildren?
Manila, two in Manila, and one in New York. Well, New York, at least I get to see him
Because you
much
were
more.
so busy.
The one in Manila, not so much. But now I will have more time. As I step down,
More time.
I will have more time with them. That's one of my priorities.
Are you still planning to work kind of part-time in
Well,
consulting or something?
I have a number of companies in which I sit as an independent director. So I will continue that. I have a number of companies that I also sit as a director, but it is not a publicly listed company. So it will keep me busy because we have regular meetings, we have audit committee meetings, we have risk management committee. So I'm sure I'll but not
To
on a
keep you
9 to 5,
going.
9 to 6 basis or 8 to 5 basis. No?
You're
Yeah.
going to miss your work.
Yes,
For
yes,
sure.
I'm sure.
Some words of wisdom for our Filipino American audience out there.
As I mentioned earlier, if we can work together, there's so much we can accomplish. You know, the Filipino community in the United States is one very highly educated. They earn good money. They are outstanding individuals in various professions, whether it's healthcare, whether it's the art, whether it's business, whether it's law. Um, but what I have seen is that, unfortunately, in many states, Filipino is still very much divided, and we have to, I think, correct that. And that's my message to the consuls general, that it is their challenge to try to unify the Filipino community. Because if we can do that, we can be probably the most influential Asian minority group. Because right now we're the second largest, but as I said, we're very highly educated with good earning power. There's so much we can do.
Ambassador, you were the man of the year of the Chicago Filipino Asian American Hall of Fame. How do you feel about that?
Well, again, sometimes I think I get too much credit when there are many others who deserve the credit too. Because, as I mentioned earlier, Consul General Kalonghe here in Chicago, the other Consul General in different cities, have also been very supportive. They have done very good jobs. Their staff, their officers and staff have also done. But I'm the one that gets the credit, you know. But so I share the credit with them
You're
because
humble.
hindi naman akin,
Yeah.
akin lang. So
You have to
sinasabi
share.
ko.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Well-
I am, of course, I appreciate receiving these awards, but at the same time, I recognize it's not just due to me, but to all my officers and staff in the embassy and the consulate general in the U.S.
All right, thank you po,
Walang anuman.
our beloved ambassador.
Salamat.
We really hate to see you
Salamat,
go,
salamat.
but congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you so much.
And
Appreciate it.
we love you.
Joe Mauricio from
Yes,
Times.
yes, Joe.
You know, the trouble in the South Pacific area are concentrated in the islands that the Chinese are claiming
Yeah.
to be their own. But what are we going to do with the Sabah, which is southern Philippines, that was gotten from us by
You know, the Sabah is a little bit more sensitive, and because Malaysia is part of ASEAN, I think the government has decided to put that in the back burner, the issue, and probably try to settle that bilaterally between the Philippines and Malaysia. In the case of the South China Sea, unfortunately, because we're a much smaller country which is being bullied by our northern neighbor, the fact that they have forcibly grabbed Scarborough Shoal from us, and now they have built on reefs that are part of our exclusive economic zone, it left us no choice but to file a case against China in the Hague. So we have to wait for the decision of the arbitral tribunal. In the case of the Sabah, I think that will be discussed between the Philippines and Malaysia, and we should be able to resolve that peacefully.
Thank you po, Ambassador.
Okay.
Walang ano.
At maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat. Kay Ambassador. I mean. Maraming salamat po, Ambassador.
Walang anuman, saka ako'y nagagalak na nakausap ka, Veronica.
Salamat po. At maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.